Hi friends, strangers, internet. My name is Emily of Imperfectly M. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. And today I have a lovely romantic lookbook for you. So if you did not see the previous video that I uploaded, building, swatching, sharing the 3 face and eye palettes that I created, inspired by the concept of the Natasha Denona Love face and eye palette. So that video, I showed you the 3 palettes and gave you the product information and gave you a little insight into why I felt inspired. I always like building lookbook videos to pair with my build your own palette videos. And the last couple that I've done, basically my format was swapped. I did a longer, talky, building, swatching video, and then the lookbook was long, but it was mostly just music and looks. With this one, I am going to be talking through my feelings and thoughts on the products and the palettes as I'm building the looks. If you are somebody that enjoys being able to just, listen to some music instead of hearing me talk, you can adjust as you so desire in terms of volume levels. But if you were looking for a little more me talking through my, how something performs, color shifts, all of that, I feel like this lookbook is going to be more of that. And I'm playing around with these formats, so I will be, anxiously awaiting to hear your thoughts. I also wanted to say, I know I'm a very bold makeup person, and I am wearing a look that's in the video, but I did try to show you some softer looks, some looks with like 2 or 3 eyeshadows to show you the joy and power of multi-chromes of different varieties, and also just to show you a bit more range. I mean, I personally think I do a decent job at showing range, but I wanted to give you a little bit of variety. If you feel inspired for Valentine's Day, I feel like this lookbook is good for that, but it's also just looks that I think could work any time of the year. And in case you're wondering, you do see the 3 palettes represented. I use them standalone, so I didn't I didn't use 2 together in a look. I very much specifically was using each palette by itself. And before we jump into the looks, if you like colorful makeup, if you like bitches with lots of opinions, or you just like cute fat babes, I would love for you to subscribe. I am recording this voiceover with the mic that I never used to record with because it's a pain in the ass. If it sounds like you are inside of my lungs, that's why. I'm going to try not to make this an ASMR video. We'll see. Welcome to the first look with the first of 3 palettes. This is the first of the peach and berry palette, and I feel like this voiceover experience is a little bit of an inside the actor's studio version because you're getting into my brain. I don't know, being weird. I'm weird. We started out with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer, whatever it's called. And my color correctors, the green and the light yellow from LA Girl, blending them out with the Katie Jane Hughes Spectrum, I think it's the 8 brush. It's a really good blendy concealer base brush. This look, I was like, I'm gonna just be a cream highlighter girl. Spoiler alert, I was not just a cream highlighter. But we start out with the Charlotte Tilbury Spotlight Highlight Wand, basically all over the face. I did something that I don't always do or rarely do and set my eyes with powder, but I'm not using a primer because I was trying to show you an easy peasy look. We go in with Archetype from Lethal Cosmetics, which I was describing as kind of like a putty neutral. It looks kind of mauvey, kind of pinky, kind of brown, and I just applied it and built it up. I am using my favorite shimmer base, the Fiorne Pixie Epoxy, and going in with Cleona Opulent. Opulent is just that bitch. And again, I was saying I'm trying to show you some softer and simpler looks, and this was just all about Opulent. Opulent is the ultimate rose gold. It has a lot of golden sparkles. It also can be kind of more taupey in tone, but this look, it definitely leaned into the warm because of the tone and warmth of archetype. I ended up adding a little pencil wing on top. It's a dark brown pencil. It's a discontinued formula from Milani, but if you have a good creamy, smudgy, coal kajal kind of pencil, this kind of like wing technique, which I learned years ago from throwback name Karima McKimmy here on YouTube, is great. I actually don't know if I love the wing in the end, but I did it. And I used another KJH brush to take the very creamy texture and spread it, get the pointy wing. I used the same Wet n Wild mascara in all the looks. I did end up adding a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury highlighter to the inner corner and added more of archetype on the lower lash line. We go in with the ColourPop freckle pen. I think I have the lightest brown, and I do this kind of like freckle brow technique when I'm trying to go for a more natural soft brow without having to actually draw in my brow. Next up, we are using Lethal Cosmetics Ornamental Blush. This is a beautiful berry tone. Something I am noticing in today's video is like seeing the application and possibly the lack of blending from me, and I'm just like, I am an imperfect human. Enjoy. I did go in with the same powder, which is from Hourglass, to kind of soften the blush, although I ended up making it more intense later. And I added just a little bit of the blush to the outer corners of my eyes, to just add like the littlest bit of depth. We went really heavy with the blush, which is a theme. I grabbed one of my older Urban Decay lipsticks in Back Talk and added a Rowan gloss in a more like warm tone color on top. And I ended up going in with the Danessa Myricks Peach highlighter from the Lightworks 1 palette and adding it especially on my cheeks. And just the Spotlight wand is nice, but not my favorite. So that is the first finished look for the Peaches and Berries palette. Look 2 from the Peaches and Berries palette is a shape inspired by the creator Sour and Nasty on Instagram. I will have her linked in the description box. This was an adventure. I don't remember, was I putting my Wet n Wild on? I might have been putting on the Wet n Wild Glowy Primer and went in with my Oma Beauty concealer and my color corrector, the LA Girl green one that I use all the time, that always has a hair coming out of brush. Oh, the packaging is so bad. same favorite spectrum brush for blending it out, but also my hands. The warmth of your fingers is really a saving grace with blending out concealer. Something I'm noticing as I'm making these lookbooks is that, and I've known this for a long time, but I'm a person that goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it's interesting showing it to the world because I'm like, wow, this is a lot. But it doesn't feel like a lot in the moment. So I just thought I would express that. Now I very specifically put eye primer in like 2 spots on my eyes. I'm going in with the peach, trying to create some kind of structured shape. I wasn't super happy with the curve and the way I did it, but I did the look and, we're doing our things. Then we are going in with Cascade, which is the deep berry in this palette, and building out a wing. I did like the way I placed it at first, where I had more of a gap at my outer corner, but I ended up kind of making the wing bigger. I also added a little on the lower lash line. And this is, again, inspired by the creator, Sour and Nasty, and I think it's a Doyen kind of style makeup technique. Then we have our Fiorine Pixie Epoxy. And we're going in with Vermilion, the glorious, glorious, glorious shadow known as Vermilion. This is just romance. This shadow is just romance to me. It's peach, it's hot pink, it's gold. And I ended up blending the red into the Vermilion, Cascade into Vermilion, and Vermilion into Cascade. We went in with Opulent on the inner corner, which isn't super brightening on me, but it's a very pretty color paired with Vermilion. I ended up blowing out the peach even more, blending it out. It doesn't look great. I know. It's real life. It's real life. And we added a multi-chrome pencil liner from Kaleidos on the lower lash line. And I did that weird wing out bottom. I've done it before and I often like it. I don't love it on this look, but it is what it is. We're using Diamond Dasher from Kaleidos as a highlighter. I placed Diamond Dasher over the lower lash wing. We end up going in and adding more of Cascade, the matte berry, on top to help that pop again, but it was just for ease rather than being more precise. I used Plan 9, which is the peachy blush in the palette, used it all over. And then I tucked Ornamental at the back of my cheeks as like a contouring blush. The lips were an adventure. So what I discovered, I'm using the Roman D, I think it's Zero Velvet Tint. It ended up being much more intense than I wanted. So I grabbed Scorpion Fruit Lip Clay from Kaleidos. These products feel like siblings or cousins to me. Texturally, they felt very similar. They apply similarly and they mix together to make this, in my opinion, beautiful mauvey pink. And I was able to create that blackened inner part of my mouth. I added more Diamond Dasher on the top of my lip. I think I punched up Plan 9 on the apples of my cheeks, and here I am in all my unblended glory. This was a more complicated look than I would, than I think a lot of us will do, but it was an interesting test for me, and it also used the majority of the products in the Peaches and Berry face palette.
Like the world was ending. mind is up in flames, but would you stay with me through the night? Through the night, through the night. Would you stay, would you stay? Through the night, through the night.
On to look 3, which is the first of 2 looks using our pink and purple Valentine's candy palette. I grabbed my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer and the Mint Color Corrector from LA Girl because I picked up the wrong color. Shocker. Also, my green, my go-to. The Zoeva Concealer Brush. If you have never used it before, it is brilliant, and I'm using it here. Perfect little fingertip brush. I know Pat McGrath has a brush like it, Rare Beauty has a brush like it. I ended up adding more of the mint because it just needed more color correcting. This look is, I think, the first in the lookbook where I'm using the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm in Universal. I'm really loving this product. It's one of the first products that I personally felt like has really helped my pores look smaller. It's not shrinking my pores, visibly blurring is what I'm saying. Now, this is another one of my softer, easier looks. So I'm going with the Kaleidos Star Surfer highlighter. I also used some e.l.f. lip gloss right before this. I was using one of my bigger, fluffier brushes to kind of give you glossy, shiny skin, but not high intensity highlighter. It's still glowy, what am I saying? And then we have our go-to eye primer, which is the NARS Smudge Proof, although I am open to drugstore budget recommendation. We're using the Final Girl from Lethal Cosmetics, which is a matte rosy pink. It was in the first Teresa and Lethal collab. It's not available anymore, but I bet you have pinks like that in your collection if you like pink makeup. The blush is Blossom, and the point of this was very blush drapey, kind of like halo of blush. I think you get it. So I was basically going in with the blush and with some of the eyeshadow and the blush and the eyeshadow and just kind of like doing my thing. I did pick up some of the eyeshadow on my finger to just kind of intensify it right on that outer corner, which is something I've been doing lately. I know people are like, matte shadows with your finger. It works. The only shine in this look is the inner corner, which is Celestial Petal, Terra Moons, and I love it. I really amplified it on the inner corner and then spread it onto the lid a little bit. So I thought I turned on the camera when I was working on the lips. I did not. So with this look, because I felt like I had done something soft but fairly simple, that I would go in and do a little heart lip look. I've been seeing a lot of heart lip looks lately. I used a mix of Rainbow Spill and Skyscraper Rose, both from Lisa Eldridge. The actual lip area is a little bit of Rainbow Spill kind of blurred out. And what I ended up doing was adding some concealer mixed with the lip brush to create an even paler color for the lip. We added some face gems and the mascara, and that's this kind of soft look. Now the second look is built on the first look. So if you wanted to do the second look, especially the eyes, just do everything I did in the first look. And then we're going to go back in and I'm using the blush. I'm using Cryostasis, which is a very pretty color that works on the eyes and on the face. And we've kind of focused the purple on that outer corner area, and then I added a little bit of the Night Call color in the palette, the matte from Lethal Cosmetics. Then we are going in hard with Chasing Comets from Terra Moons. This is the beautiful purple multichrome that has pink and golden sparkles. It's a very warm purple and it's just beautiful. I put down the Fear Name Pixie Epoxy before putting the shimmer on, but I probably really didn't even need to because of the placement of it. I put down Royalty from Clionadh Cosmetics on the lid. And then I grabbed Celestial Petal to kind of blend the purple shimmer out into the pink blush. I think I added more Royalty above the lid, kind of building out that cone shape from like the inner corner to the outer purple. And then onto the lips, I filled in my lips Skyscraper Rose, which is the deeper of the two pinks from Lisa Eldridge. And then I added a ridiculous amount of Clionadh Royalty on the top lip. I'm just really into like the intense shimmer, middle of the lip, mustache. I don't know. It's just a thing I'm doing. If you saw my new makeup hangover video, I did end up, I think, adding gloss. The shimmer kind of distributed across the lips a little more, and that was a really cool look. I added even more of the Blossom pink blush to continue blowing it out. I added the purple to blue multichrome pencil from Kaleidos on my waterline, and to make this look super duper lovey-dovey Valentine's Day, I grabbed my Danessa Myricks Color Fix in Lift and drew on some hearts. Now, if you're new here, my graphic liner is messy as fuck, and I have, I think, 2 looks in here with hearts, and they both look messy, and that's okay. With this look, I ended up adding Celestial Petal on top with a big highlighter brush. I did want the hearts to have some shimmer to them, and it was actually just easier than very specifically painting each heart with shimmer or something. I don't do that. Well, I've done it before, but I try not to. We added some more face gems and took some photos and called it a lovey-dovey day. Let's move on to the Sour Watermelon palette. This is obviously my favorite of the 3 palettes, and I really love both looks that I did. So first up, we have my favorite concealer of the moment, the NYX Serum Concealer in Vanilla. We have my green color corrector. My skin looks good, this combo. It really does. So this is the second look that I'm using the blurring balm. Here's the thing. I really love the blush and highlighter that is in this face palette. And I am a glowy skin hoe, but I really wanted the skin to be more natural and let that highlighter, you see that fucking highlighter? Let that highlighter do its thing and let the blush do its thing and not have as much shine or glow on the rest of my face. I put highlighter and blush in a lot of parts of my face, so you know, that's a thing. But that highlighter is Halo from Lethal Cosmetics and the blush is Blossom. This combo is fucking immaculate. It's fucking immaculate. This is the first time I've gone in with that big Refer 21 brush, but I love it. I really like that brush for blush because I'm a blush slut, but this is the first time I had used it with Blossom. I love the skin. I love the skin so much that I wanted to give you a close-up just of the skin. Now this look, I am still calling it a simple look because in the end, I only used 2 eyeshadows plus the highlighter. Also apologies for the brush hair on my face. So we started with the same eye primer I always use, and we went in with eel-lectric from Menagerie Cosmetics. The sad thing is that Menagerie has stopped making a majority of their single eyeshadows. They're still doing multi-chrome singles, but this is already off the site. I am very sad. It's such a beautiful, it's me. This is a me color. Now, if you have the Club Nebula palette from Kaleidos, if you bought that, the green in there and this are basically the same as I love this kind of color, so if I'm telling you it's a close to dupe, then yeah. I'm going in with Fiorne Pixie Epoxy, and at first I'm only applying coalescence to my lid because I know not everyone is about shimmer everywhere like I am, so I wanted to show you this is still a really pretty, impactful look and beautiful look in my opinion without it being everywhere. I almost went in with Phosphorescent from Cliona, but I decided I wanted to use Halo and show you how it is impactful for both the inner corner and the face. And then I did kind of a halo, a little curve of halo from that inner corner up to the brow bone. So that is a more controlled version. And then I go in with my finger and put coalescence from Terra Moons everywhere. I love this eyeshadow. I love it so much. I love it. When I was doing the second eye, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with the brows because again, with these softer looks, I will do funky, weird brows, but I wanted to do something that was like different, but not so different that you couldn't imagine the look without them. I did gem brows. I had these heart gems and round gems. So I did like some cute Valentine's gem brows. I put on my go-to Fenty Slip Shine in Retro Rose, added a little bit more halo on the center of my lip. When I zoomed out, I was like, oh, wait, the gems and the lips really match with the cat ears and my hair with the makeup. So I went with it. I embraced being a kitty cat, which is the dream. So for look 2, I continued to embrace the cat ears, and this time I put on my black sequin cat ears. This might be the closest thing to like an anti-Valentine's Day look in this collection, and I love this look. So this one I did go in with the Auric Glow Lust. I sprayed my face with a little bit of Fix Plus just to rehydrate a little because this was actually the second look. I had taken off the other makeup and just put this on. We went in with the color corrector. I think with this one I used the same NYX concealer just because I had it right there from the previous look. And it's such a good go-to for me. I figured why not. We're going in with Halo, again, the highlighter from Lethal Cosmetics. It's doing its thing. It's being its badass self. This is a beautiful pinky, green, blue, iridescent duochrome, multi-chrome highlighter. I fucking love it so much. Like, just look at it on my face. Now we're going in with blush. This is Blossom again from Lethal. I've been loving like carving, like not really contouring my nose, but I'm contouring it with pink. So like I'm drawing attention to it. So I did that. I did the blush around the rest of my face. And then I really wanted to show you what grabbing one of the eyeshadows and amplifying the blush that way look like. So I use Caps Lock, which is a very intense shade. It's like adjacent to a neon, so you know, your mileage may vary, take this with a grain of salt, all of those warnings. As soon as I started putting it on my face, I was like, I think I want to do a blurry blush edged lip look. I don't really remember how it popped into my head. I didn't come into this look with like an idea in mind, but I knew I wanted to combine the entire palette basically on my face. Now, Scorpion Fruit, yet again, from Kaleidos. A beautiful black, but I almost like to call it like a berry black. And I put it on and I just kept pressing out. You'll see that. You saw it in the berries and peach look that I did with the velvet tint and lip clay. And in this one, I do a lot of like pressing it out to help it spread and blend. The moment that this look went, when I grabbed phosphorescent and put it on the center of my lip and saw how that black lit the green, just lit it up. I love this lip. I liked it before, but when I added phosphorescent, I was like, you fucking did that. I love it. Like I said, I didn't have a big game plan with these eyes, but I did really like the blush contour thing that I did. So I amplified that, and then I really just wanted to play opposites. So I grabbed eel-lectric and I did that big wing shape. Also, I love the eel-lectric on the inner corner. I think I applied it a little too thickly. It's texturally kind of visible, which is an issue I personally have with the menagerie mattes. Then we grabbed the pink shimmer from the Kaleidos VR Neon palette and created that winged out shape. I also kind of did a little double wing with the pink matte on the under eye, which I really liked the shape it was creating. And then we went into coalescence. So I used my finger and applied coalescence on the brow area. If you don't use like a sticky base, there's a lot of the Terra Moon shadows that can kind of function as both a bright multi-chrome and an iridescent in a way. It's interesting. And once I added coalescence on the brow curve area, I then added phosphorescence across the kind of center of the eye diagonally, connecting the two zones. And then I did add more of the pink shimmer and a little teeny bit of coalescence on that outer wing area. I just don't like a harsh wing line. I would rather the shadow kind of blend out into my skin because of the shape of my face and my, architecture. I say my face architecture, whatever, the geometry of my face. We are then going in with the Cola water activated liner from Glisten Cosmetics. You can use code imperfectlyim to save 15% off. I did my villain brows. I did some sloppy hearts that I did kind of fix, but they're pretty sloppy. I then added some little like fake bottom lashes. I made the wings a little bit more black. Oh, I didn't tell you this. I used the black pencil from Milani to make that wing initially and fill in my waterline. And then I used Cola to add more black color to the wing and the inner corner. Sometimes the pencil liners or liquid pen liners aren't kind of like strong enough to cover all the shimmer. So reinforcing it with a water activated like top coat can sometimes be helpful, or it can just add more of that black depth. And I think that's all with that look. I think that was everything. As cool as the eyes came out, as much as I like how I had like a green matte with a pink shimmer on top, and then a pink matte with a green shimmer on top, and like the iridescent that bridged the gap, the lips. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now because I have no idea how I'm gonna fit everything that I said into the length of this video, but we're gonna try. And we're gonna go back to filming Emily in that wonderful naughty cat makeup, which is its name now, to say goodbye. So let me know, which one was your favorite look today? Did you feel inspired to grab any of the things, the colors and textures I was using? I am so curious to hear your thoughts about the looks and about this format. I like experimenting with different formats and seeing what feels good. And today, this concept is what feels good. So I hope you enjoy it. I also will do my best to list the products that I was also using in the different looks, but if I don't and you have questions, you can always use the comment section to ask there as well. Big thanks to my patrons and my channel members for constantly supporting me. Y'all are really why I'm here doing this thing, and I appreciate you all so much. And for everyone watching, I appreciate you as well. Feel free to like the video, share it out if you feel so inspired to do so. But most importantly, take care of yourself better today than you did yesterday, because you are worth it.